daddy's painting party. This ain't your daddy's painting class. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mary Houlihan.
Woo!
We're doing this. Mary Houlihan. What's up? It's Mary Houlihan.
Like yesterday.
Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
Another scorcher.
Cool.
Hello.
The Big Riff.
How is everybody? Hi. Mary at the cabin. Woo! Totally agree. Ooh, cheddar scallion. Yum, 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 yum. Pew, pew, pew. Woof. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Chillin', cool. Hi. I don't know if you heard, but the theme today is autumn spice. So I will be painting autumnal painting, and so will you, or cheddar scallion biscuits, or whatever. No, I won't be painting the Lost Season 1 DVD for the third time. Well, heck, let's just bring out my guests already. Let's get to it. Here they come, Dan Weiss and Bob Wallace. Woo!
Hello.
What is up? Dish.
There was just a car horn going off.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah,
Vroom,
a lot.
vroom.
Yeah. And I was worried that it wouldn't stop in time for a painting party, but then it did.
Aw. Well, because they're watching, they know. They were like, oh shoot, we're right by Bob's house.
Yeah, they were like, we need to be involved in this episode, and and we're right on the block, so let's blast a horn.
Nice. Cool. And Dan, how's it going in Vallejo, California?
You know, it's going pretty well.
Ooh.
My kid just got home like a minute ago, right before this started. We just started daycare for the first time ever at 15 months old, and he just walked in and tried to get into this room, but he was taken away. And then I heard him crying, and then I heard him say, "No." And that's, I think he's also watching in the other room, I assume.
Ooh.
He wants to be in on the action.
Did you
He is
cry?
going back to the territory. I just saw that comment, and I just want to acknowledge that, yes, it is the Zodiac Killer, and that the best Mexican food in town is at a restaurant where the first victim of the Zodiac Killer used to work when it was an IHOP, and you can tell from the building, it's very clear that it used to be an IHOP, but now it's just
great.
a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, that's awesome. Vallejo always thinks of my ex-boyfriend and his family, because that's the only reason I ever go to Vallejo, to see them. I guess I should probably do some mousekeeping. What am I waiting for? Mousekeeping, you say? What's mousekeeping? Well, it rhymes with housekeeping, and it's where I, sort of tell you, the gist of what we're doing here. Maybe it's your first time watching, I don't know. So, me and my guests paint or draw or whatever, and you paint or draw or whatever, and you can share your art online on Twitter with the hashtag Mary Painting Party, and we'll screen share it. Can you believe that? No way. And please support the show. It's a free show, but we would love money instead of free. So if you have a couple extra bones, please go to planetscum.live and donate. We have a PayPal link. And if you email me your receipt to that email right there, maryhoulihanxoxo@gmail.com, and you're like, I donated, can I have something? here's my address. I'll mail you stuff. I am at the moment I am out of stickers. But I do have headshots still. And I'm ordering stickers. And we'll be ordering new stickers. And we also have shirts for sale at planetscum.live/merch. Yay! That's pretty much.
Those are great.
Yeah, let's look at them again. Come on.
Yeah. Look at that.
Ooh. Ooh. Yay.
Mary, where's Happy?
Wouldn't you like to know? I'll tell you.
I think the world wants to know.
Hello. Happy. Hello. Me, mama. Me.
Hey, lighten up, Hap. That's from My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, really?
I watched that movie a lot when I was a kid, which is inappropriate for a kid. For a kid.
Yeah.
Dan, do you ever let your very extremely young child watch horrific films like My Bloody Valentine?
You know, I haven't yet. We he's just discovered that TV exists really recently.
Nice.
And so far, exclusively clips of the Muppets and Fraggle Rock. And David Attenborough animal YouTube clips.
Ooh.
And I try and carefully select. Sometimes one that's a little too sad makes it through, but I try and keep it to that. The occasional footage of a capybara at a Japanese zoo. That's the extent of his viewing habits so far. But I'm not against watching my Bloody Valentine if he wants to.
No, I think capybara sounds so much more healthy for a child.
Have you ever seen a capybara at a Japanese zoo? It seems like Japanese zoos are all just capybara spas. Is what I can tell from YouTube.
Wow.
They just have these like hot tubs with oranges in it that the capybaras sit in and get out when they want to. And it just seems great.
I have to say, Dan, you are probably the best, VJ for children's videos I have ever encountered.
Thank you. It's the only reason I had a child was to curate their YouTube.
Yeah. Because, I hang out with people who have babies sometimes, and, they're always like, having a baby's cool and all, but I have to watch this shitty show that I fucking hate. They always say stuff like that. Whereas you seem to be, not even alerting your baby that bad media exists yet, which is very wise. I like this.
Although I'll tell you, I prided myself on that. I'm like, this is great. I don't need to do it. I didn't want to be obnoxious. I don't want to be not let the kid have enjoy this. But
yes.
Specifically, I always would see people talk about how much they hated Cocomelon. And I'm like, you don't have to eat Cocomelon. This is an avoidable problem. And then we started him at a daycare, and they were like, oh yeah, we let them watch TV for a little bit, but only educational shows like Cocomelon. And it was literally a day after I had been going on a rant about how I wasn't going to let my kids see Cocomelon, and that you didn't need to let your kids see Cocomelon. And I was immediately met with my comeuppance. But I think they have like a bigger TV at the daycare, so I think that so far he hasn't figured out that that's a thing that you can watch on different TVs. I think he thinks it's just at the daycare TV. It's a great way to do it.
Oh, I get that. That used to be the way that it would be if your daycare had certain like Ninja Turtles VHSs, for example. They were only there and not at, say, your grandmother's house. It's not all connected the way it is now.
He just figured out that he can watch Fraggle Rock on any computer in the house. He can kind of like push and ask for it. At first, he would be with his mom, and his mom would have the computer out, and then he would see my computer unfolded and go for it to open it and insist to have my computer opened so that he could watch clips. Totally unaware that there was an open computer right in front of him, but also have these.
Dan, look. Look, it's Nick Shively.
Nick Shively.
At Tugboat.
Everyone loves Nick Shively.
It's
Myself
true.
included.
Let's see.
Someone in the comments mentioned Marine World earlier when we were talking about the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Marine World is great.
I've been.
But it doesn't exist anymore. It's a Six Flags now with a totally different name. And when they made it into an amusement park, they killed all the animals in stress because they put roller coasters over them.
Oh my god.
It's a dark place that used to be a dark place in a fun way because they made elephants water skiing.
Wow. What a bummer place. If you hang out at the amusement park where all the animals died of stress and, you get done early, you can go see the Ronald Reagan painting made out of jelly beans at the Jelly Bean Factory. Also a real thing, of course.
We also have a great sugar factory just on the other side
of
the river from us.
Never
the headquarters
been.
Of C&H Sugar. They have a beautiful old factory.
Nice. I like their logo. It's a great font.
It's one of the all-time great fonts.
Mm-hmm. Dum, dum. My little baby nieces, they like to watch. They have pretty good taste. They watch shows that are, clearly shows for children. They're not fun shows for adults that happen to be kid friendly. But, I feel like they watch pretty good ones. They watch The Wiggles, and they watch this YouTuber woman who sings songs, and I can't think of what her channel is called. But she's like a one-person Sesame Street. Well, technically, I think her husband is behind the camera and doing a lot of stuff. But she's on camera. She's singing to you. She has a great vibe. My family keeps saying, "This is what you should be doing."
Don't you love that?
Well, kind of, yes. I'm a little bit playing it up for fun, but they are very nice and just you would be good at this.
Yeah.
Maybe you should look into kids stuff.
Well, I think that you'd be great at it.
Thank you.
I also have parents that are very supportive, and they encourage me every time they see something they like. Why don't you do that? I'm like, but sometimes though I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Okay. I'm gonna start coloring in, but I just got some. I was gonna use these colored pencils. However, there is a twist of the plot.
What?
Yeah, so it is my anniversary with Tally, and she got me
my God.
these new
Oh my goodness, smelly markers.
Yes. So for those of you at home, you would be able to smell the drawing, which is pretty insane.
And if you take out your smell-o-vision on your Lunchables, you can smell what Hey Arnold is doing. Do you guys remember those?
Sure.
There was a week of smell-o-vision on Nickelodeon, and you could get cardboard smell-o-vision nose glasses. There you go.
I feel like I'm getting nose glasses right now.
And they would, in the bottom of the screen, there'd be a nose icon, put up your smellers now. There's something to smell.
Was it pretty nice, or were there some gross ones? In there?
I don't know. I never actually got the smell glasses, but I would just watch and be like, "Ooh, I bet it smells crazy."
I'm coloring it. I borrowed said 16-year-old child's jumbo crayons,
Ooh.
which are fun because they're so thick and unruly.
Fun.
But it's great because then no one can tell that you're bad at it because you have to draw in just real broad strokes anyway. It's great.
You know, I was checking out these really cool crayons a couple weeks ago. I was at, is it a second birthday party or a third birthday party? It was a little kid birthday party, and they had a white erase board with white erase crayons. You could draw crayon style and then erase the crayon. Can you believe it? Typically, you know, you see someone drawing with crayon on dry erase and you're like, no. But this time you're like, yes, that's perfect. We can erase it. And these kids were going hog wild for it. They liked the erasing more than the drawing, I would say. I would go as far as saying that.
Do you feel like it sets up the kids with it's setting them up for disaster the next time they encounter a regular dry erase marker and some crayons?
I think so, because also an issue that I was having was that the other adults didn't know that they were special crayons. And so they would, like, take the stuff away, and then the kids would start crying. And then I would go to the other adults and say, oh, they're these special crayons. They could use them. And then they'd be like, oh, okay. And then I'd flip the thing around. And, you know, it happened a couple times, which is totally fair. So, yeah, I think it is dangerous and a sin to get kids used to using crayons on dry erase boards. Would I say hog wild is wilder than buck wild? I feel like they're totally different types of wild.
I think that's a good question, though. I gotta think about that.
I think buck wild to me means more like partying. More like party lifestyle. Like, wow, you stay up late. Whereas hog wild is more like, how'd you eat all that? Or, wow, you read a lot.
How would you describe the boys from Jackass? Would you say they are hog wild or buck wild?
I would say they're hog wild. Which I know it's up for debate. I think they technically are buck wild, but to me, their personalities is what makes them hog wild.
There's an underlying wholesomeness there that's not there for buck wild. Got it.
Yes, I think so. I think buck wild is every person for themselves, and hog wild is doing pranks with your friends.
Pranks with your friends, I miss doing that. Because if I do that now, and I'm almost like, I'm getting old. So if I go out and try to prank the world, I'll get like swift comeuppance, like huge consequences.
Yeah, you have to be doing sort of, babyish pranks where you're really, not doing any harm. You'd be switching out someone's hat for a different hat, huh? That's a prank. Huh?
Okay, now we're talking.
Did you ever pull any good pranks on your sibling? How many siblings do you have, Mary?
I have 3 siblings. And one of them is watching, at least. Let's
Well,
see.
I understand if you don't want to divulge there.
I'm trying to think of things. A bunch of memories are flooding my brain, but none of them are really pranks. Oh! This was a prank that I did with my brother on a neighbor kid. Is we found this pipe in the woods where it went out. It like connected to the sewer. So we found the end of a pipe and we realized that you could do it, like at a playground where you like tuck it into the thing and then the person far away can hear it in the thing. So we were doing that, but with the sewer. And so then I was little and my brother was like, go get the neighbor kid and, go like freak out and tell him like, come help. And so then I went and I was like, help, come help. And then, I was like, there's a kid stuck in the sewer. And then we were standing by the sewer and my brother was yelling into the pipe like, help, I'm hungry. And, it was like an episode of Impractical Jokers. We were just seeing what this Mark would do when faced in such a silly situation.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Did I prank Travis? No, I pranked, what's his name? Dominique's brother. I can't think of his name. Jordan. They were a little after your time. They were, a year or two. They were the year above and the year under me.
What are you guys drawing?
Candy apple.
Oh, look at that.
I'm drawing this pumpkin scene. I don't know if you can see this.
That's excellent.
Sort of abstract fall colors, and then on this other side, I'm working on a spookier pumpkin scene to go along with it.
Very
It's inspired
cool.
by this tiny pumpkin that is in front of me. Have you ever seen a tiny
Oh my god! You're telling me that's not a pumpkin that's really, really far away from the camera?
Nope. It is just a half mile away from the Came from a pumpkin patch. We went to a pumpkin patch
God.
for Leo's first. It's really fun to have a kid, even though people talk a lot about how hard it is and how terrible it is. But it's also the most fun thing in the world because you get to just go to pumpkin patches and do all the things that I like to do anyway, but I'm not a weirdo anymore.
Right, yeah.
And I have a kid that I'm showing around. It's great.
Is it the same everywhere? I don't know if it's just a New York City thing, but I think it's illegal to be in like the kids part of a public park. Do you know what I mean? Like not with a child.
I don't know that it's illegal, but there certainly are a lot of parks. It's not every park, but there are certain parks that have like, you must be accompanied with a child. We went to Oakland Children's Fairyland recently, which I've wanted to go for as long as I've lived, like since I've been an adult, but you can't go without a little kid.
Right. Yes, yeah. I gotcha.
I'm drawing like the Lost Spice Girl.
Is her name Autumn or does she have a different name? Okay.
Autumn Spice.
Oh.
This is like, it's funny because now that I'm here, this is just the most, obviously, like every week, the most relaxing thing in the world. But I got really stressed out about like what I was going to draw. But this is like, she didn't make the cut of the original Spice Girls.
Oh.
But she was like a proto, like emo metalcore girl.
Oh.
And like, but this is like her solo album that's called Fall Ghoul.
I'm into it.
I'm gonna draw. That's what I'm drawing.
Wow. You go, girl.
The LP of Fall Ghoul
Wow.
by Autumn Spice.
Damn.
Because to me, autumn means scenester stuff. Because I was in a band with the word autumn in the name, and so is everyone else in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Uh-huh.
And we all had like leaves and stuff on the art for the bands, but the music was sonically vicious.
Oh my
You know what I mean? Like where I'll give you, there's this band called As the Sun Sets from Rhode Island, and they sounded like a car accident.
I also, it was occurring to me earlier today that autumn does give a sort of scene emo vibe. Because when I was thinking of things to draw, one of the ideas that I had, I was like, I'm not going to be able to like find a picture that illustrates this enough, but that thing of like I feel like it's a big thing in high school when kids become like artsy and into photography. They take pictures of themselves or, you know, someone else like in the woods, just like,
Yeah,
you know, leaves everywhere and that kind of thing.
That's exactly what I'm going for here. It's like, this is a much more like, I think in my version that I'm making, the art director is like, you know, you got to stand right in center, and she's like, it's like all the black and white Canon 35 mil photos that I take of myself are like from a weird angle.
Yeah.
What's up with this symmetrical thing? Like, oh well, I'll pose for it anyways. But really, it's because I can only really draw symmetrical, straight on figures. So that's what we are getting here tonight, is a very Wes Anderson-y angle of this scenester Spice Girl.
Very nice. Speaking of spicing up your Instagram, one cool way to spice up your life is to get awesome merch at planetscum.live/merch. Yay! Wow, look at those excellent shirts. Or you could donate a couple dollars to me and Forrest and everybody at Planet Scum by going to planetscum.live and click on the PayPal link. It's in the shape of a bucket. Woo! Very nice. Yay! Gorgeous, happy emoji. Come on. What's better? Dan, can I ask you a weird question?
I would love you to ask me a weird question.
Okay. And you know me, so you know that my intentions are good, and this isn't a smart-ass question. This is a genuine question.
Okay.
What is the worst part of having a kid?
Oh. Well, I haven't slept for more than 4 hours at a time in 16 months. And that is definitely the answer to that question.
Wow.
Yeah, some kids are good sleepers, but those kids probably aren't as good at a bunch of other things.
It's
you know,
true.
Leo is great. He just he doesn't sleep, and also he won't fall asleep with his mom. So sometimes in the middle of the street, middle of the night, not the middle of the street. Sometimes in the middle of the night, he'll wake up and he needs his mom to calm him, but then he needs me to do the final step to actually get
Oh
him to
my
fall asleep.
god.
So neither of us can ever sleep. There's no sharing
Yeah.
like switching nights. We just both have to be awake.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so that's the answer to that question.
Wow.
Yeah. But weirdly, I don't care. That's
Yeah.
it's a lot like being in a cult. Sometimes, like, it just sort of breaks you down, and then even though you know the discomfort is real, you don't care. You're like, yes, this discomfort is great. This discomfort is good.
Right.
Sometimes he does wake up in the middle of the street. That's a story for another time. Blog Thoven.
Oh. Does Esther still do lawyering?
Yes, but she has a new job that's less lawyering, or she's like, it's more policy based. She works on houseless issues across the country now for a group that just works on houseless advocacy and things like that.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. She got to be she was on like the COVID task force where she got to discuss, how houseless people are impacted by that. It's a cool thing. I won't go into any more details for.
Wow.
To keep it.
I'm so intrigued.
But she's doing that, which is just a million times better. It's great because she had been, for the first 6 months of COVID, she still had to go into the courthouse. Things were terrifying. She'd have to go into court, and it's great to just sort of have a chiller job. A chiller job where also you're doing good.
Yeah. So, when you say it's like all over the country, what do you mean? Is it like a national network of?
Yeah, it's a national organization. They help out city and county governments across the country.
Oh.
So she was working on a project in sort of the vague Chicago area. A lot of it is California based, but also that she's done stuff in the South and in the Midwest, in the East, everywhere.
That's very cool.
It's cool, and especially it's if it wasn't COVID, she probably would be traveling all over the place. But now it's all just from our living room.
Pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
And what do they do? They help people get funding to have bed programs, or?
Yeah, it's a lot of working with governments to help them sort of figure out what they have access to help them get access to grants that are out there to help to help with housing programs, help developing things like that, developing programs for some hyper targeted communities, like people with substance abuse issues, getting them into housing, and how do you do it, and a lot of sort of liaisoning with the federal government and with state governments to get funds and to help people.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's cool. It's funny. It's a real job,
Yeah.
I just help make books happen. It feels very different. I don't do.
Whoa! Hey, hold on there.
Yeah. I mean, I love it.
Making books happen.
Yeah.
Books are knowledge.
There's a lot of them behind me here. I'm here. I see that. I'm trying to get out my telescope. Ooh, what's he doing?
Wow. I've only just realized that both of you have so many books behind you.
It feels appropriate for what's more cozy and autumnal than too many books.
Nothing.
Yeah, very little.
Very
Except
few
for
things in life.
maybe a sparsely attended metalcore showcase at an American Legion in the deep suburbs.
The bunch of coats in the corner.
With a bunch of, it's a coat monster. Corner that's gonna eat everybody at the end of the night.
Let's see, get this little.
I think there's a Bible in here, Nick Shively.
Oh.
Just, I think there is in fact a single reference Bible. You gotta, you gotta know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Totally.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah?
We've got some viewer art from Embroider Ugg.
Oh my god! It's pumpkin cake!
Whoa.
Oh, that's so cool!
Unreal.
Wow, everyone's like, wow, Noah, amazing! Wow! Woo! Yay!
I'm so impressed by the plate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all. I'm not to dismiss the cake or the fork, but the plate colors are really.
Great detail.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's lots of people out there who would skimp. They would skimp on the plate. But you went there.
Yeah.
Making something round.
I agree with
like the
Dan,
border.
I agree with that. Sorry.
Go. You got this.
I just wanted to say, like, I agree with Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, that means you gotta hunt down the right embroidery in your toolkit, and, like, I don't know. I'm just very impressed still.
Pretty cool. Bow, 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 bow.
What are we listening to? This is great.
This is Jonah Moorer. By the way, if anyone has chill music, feel free to send it to me for background music on this very show. Yay!
It does kind of look like a merit badge. It's a good. I see that in the comments. A good point.
Trying to think of more pranks.
I always used to try and get my older brother to drink Tabasco sauce every April Fool's, which never worked because I would just bring him a glass of water. I feel like as a little kid, it would just be a clear glass and you could tell something was in it. But also, there would be no situation that I would just bring him a glass of water without him requesting it. So it was
Right.
It was always a failed prank. But we did have some red glasses, so eventually we got some red glasses, which made it closer to the prank being possible.
There you go.
But it's a great regret that I never pulled off making him tricking him into drinking Tabasco sauce.
I think the thing I'm the most nervous about drawing right now is, like, I think that Autumn Spice would have one of those, like, Fellowship of the Ring style, like, leaf, like, gold leaf things on her, like, tunic or whatever. But drawing a leaf is, as we all know, hard.
Mm-hmm. It's a little different than, Autumn Spice just wearing a solid tee.
Yeah. I could have just put her in a standard black Dunkin' Donuts tee, like with the Dunkin' Donuts spelled all correctly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, that would have been fun. Next time.
Mm-hmm.
This time, a poorly drawn leaf.
Yay.
You guys know that movie Bottle Rocket?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great movie.
You know that part where he's like, it's a leaf. It's like a underrated line of dialogue, apparently.
What part is that? Come on, give us context.
Okay, sorry. So Future Man comes home, and Bob's not there. It's just Dignan, and Future Man goes over to the pool, and there's a single leaf in the pool, and he takes and he's all pissed off, and he takes it out of the pool, and then you hear him off camera, and he's like, "Bob, you were told to thoroughly clean the pool," and he's like bullying his brother, and it's weird because they're older, and it's that moment of like when you're around your friends, no matter at what age you are, but in they're bullying each other, like if you're friends with siblings. And it's weird, and the camera stays on the weird, like the awkwardness of Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson sitting there while their friends being bullied off camera. And so Dignan, played by Owen Wilson, walks over to like see what all that was about, and sees the single leaf sitting on the ground, and he picks it up and he goes, "It's a leaf." I love those Wilson brothers. They're so charming.
Did you see Saturday Night Live this weekend?
No.
Hosted by Owen Wilson for the season premiere.
What?
And in his opening monologue, he was like, "Both of my brothers were here," which was a nice reminder that there's a third Wilson brother that you forget even exists.
Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, so
He's great.
there. Yeah. But it was good to see all three of them. What a nice little treat.
Yeah, I get it. That's I like them. They're they make me happy, those brothers.
I was just thinking about Luke Wilson the other day.
Like, I should call him. Gotta call him up.
Well, because I had watched Idiocracy. I had rewatched it recently. And then it just sort of popped in my head. He's kind of an unlikely movie star protagonist. That's kind of cool that he starred in a bunch of movies. I wonder what it was like for actors back then. You know, actors a little bit older than us. Because the world's so different now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have to, like, promote themselves on social media or anything like that. Like, and they couldn't do self-tapes with their, phone that they have on their person all the time. They had to make videotapes and mail it or deliver it.
Right.
They had to bring a map with them. Anyways.
You know, that's really... I had not thought about stuff like that in a long time, but like, I feel like I keep like not saying my age like I'm in some 90s sitcom. I'm 38. But which means that I feel like I've spanned a lot of like different eras
Mm-hmm.
being my age.
Yes. You were the
Uh,
youngster for a certain demographic.
huh?
And now you're the wise sage for a different demographic.
Yeah, I was a youngster for the last bit of Gen X comedians.
Sure, yeah.
And then I was the oldster for the generation of comedians that were like, what's the Royal Oak? Like, we're standing on it. It's this place. And that's the oldest I've ever felt in my life. When I went back to my old venue that I hosted like a bajillion shows at, and there was like the ownership had changed over like thrice, and there are other shows happening there, and everything was, it felt like it had been forgotten. And I was like, oh wow, I've been gone for a long time. Hey, that's time.
That is time.
That is time.
Whoa.
I'm 37, so I understand exactly what you're saying. I recently had the experience that I swore I would never have, because I used to hate this. What people would do is I went into a bookstore I used to work at, and I made some comment about how, I used to work here, and got like, okay.
Okay.
Because I remember how much I hated when people did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We all become what we hate.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't
no.
want to.
Become what we love.
Well, those are two sides of the two poles of a similar energy, because the opposite would be indifference.
Yeah.
And often my best friends are were my most intense rivalries to begin with. And sometimes the line is thin, for a lot of us, especially like people who play sports or artists who are needlessly competitive with one another, even though we're under incredible pressure every day and make barely anything at all. But like, I think that, I don't know. Well, more importantly though, this is the moment of truth where I decide between colored pencil and
Oh my god.
maca, as they say at home.
What's it gonna be?
What's it gonna be? Chat? Can we get a little vote in the chat?
Oh yeah. Sound off in the chat.
So it's gonna be something like this, or it's gonna be something like this. Marker, pencils, marker.
I say do the markers. Live it up.
Okay.
1, it's got smell.
Yep.
2, it's got love because it was purchased for you with
right.
love.
I think you're 100% right on that. And it's charged with that loving energy. So we're going to go with that 100%.
Did you guys hear about how Mariah Carey made like that fake alt rock album when she was young?
Yes.
I feel like Autumn Spice kind of reminds me of that persona.
What was the name of Garth Brooks's dark persona?
Chris Gaines.
This is the Chris Gaines of this. Of the Spice world, the Spice verse, Spicer-verse.
Have you guys heard the new Dua Lipa X Elton John song?
Yeah, I love it.
Me too. I can't believe Elton John is on like Z100.
He was on the last Gorillaz album. I got really into Gorillaz over lockdown.
I did too. Not over lockdown, but like way later when everyone was like, why are you listening to Gorillaz?
Elton John's also on the Lil Nas X album. One of those
Oh my
things.
god,
too.
he's everywhere.
Which I think has also charted. So I think that Elton John has 2 songs right now.
Good for him. Good lord. That's
It's a
cool.
good time. It's always a good time to be Elton John.
Yeah. Oh
Does
my
Elton John make
God.
it to the fall? Or what do you think is Elton John's season?
Yeah, I think spring or summer. But that's just me. That's just me.
I'll tell you this much: Led Zeppelin,
Mm-hmm.
summer.
Oh, yeah.
And I just realized that because summer's on the way out, and I realized like I didn't get the Let Out really at all this summer, but I did listen to a lot of weird late era electronic Robert Plant.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever listened to electronic Robert
I mean,
Plant.
I guess it's like not. It's just like his solo stuff from the '80s when he was on like his songs are on like Miami Vice and stuff.
Oh, wow.
They're good.
I'm intrigued.
If you like, my friend sent me this amazing playlist called Spago Rock Sampler, which is for those viewers that don't know what Spago is like a an elite. I don't want to use any bad words, but it's like I guess like a yuppie restaurant where people would power lunch in Los Angeles.
Oh, Spago.
Spago, yeah, exactly.
I bet a lot of Zima was drunk at Spago.
Yeah, eczema by the barrel full at Spago, I can imagine. So like somebody's made this playlist of like Robert Plant solo and like Phil Collins and all the stuff that they would play at Spago.
Don Henley.
It's
I can see it. I'm in Spago now.
Yeah.
I feel like the 80s were such a weird time for like all those the like classic rock guys were just still around but like bad but still hadn't given up on being relevant yet. So it's such a weird like all these like I feel like all of the great like bands of the 70s and 60s have just like weird, some of them are really good, like the George Harrison I Got My Eyes Set on You, or like yeah, but it's a weird time.
You know,
come back.
you're singing my song right to my to my heart. Like I feel like we're joking around about making out in backstage before the show, but like you're throwing them right in there because I spent a lot of time thinking about this exact topic.
Wow.
And like I used to drink a lot. I haven't drank any alcohol in almost 10 years. God bless. Thank you. But when I would come home after working at a nightclub and then closing out a different bar, and I would just like be still raging kind of on my couch at like 6 a.m. for whatever, like you do when you're a shithead 20 something. I would want to listen to the loudest music possible. And like I mentioned before, the grindcore band As the Sun Sets from Providence, Rhode Island, greatest, loudest band ever live. But on a recording, it sounds like so if you actually want the loudest music you can drive into your skull at that late hour when you need something that loud, Phil Collins is your man. Not James Hetfield. Maybe now after they remastered everything, but like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, Mary? That stuff's
yes.
loud. It's loud.
I get it. You're home, you're a buzz, you know, you're like, I can do anything, I'm so powerful, and you know, bingity ding 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 ding, bingity ding 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 ding, bingity ding 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 ding. Right? That song, the bass line on that is like like makes me feel cool. Like damn, anything could happen tonight.
I totally agree with that. That's like, and I just go looking for, because I think it's like the year that I was born, 1983, and then there's like between that and like almost like eventually you get to like crap. I don't know, the late 90s, like Kid Rock or whatever. But like, it's weird because like 83 is almost louder, the loudest music, because it's the most expensive records ever made. The bubble bursts in somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then like you go back to like some people like Rick Rubin and Brian Enos remain active and they'll do some stuff and whatever, but like you don't get the same opulent production. Right. It's great. Like what happened during that time?
Yeah. Like standard for all like major label artists to have that much money, that there isn't like pressure anymore to make something really excellent. So the 90s is all just like,
Oh, I know. I know.
Have any of you ever read the book Rock On by Ian Kennedy?
Mm-mm.
I highly recommend it. He's a very funny humor writer. And it's a book about, he worked in the record industry in like 2001. And it's about like the end of the record industry, basically. Like before, like, he worked right then, and he was responsible for working with the band The Darkness, and the book is about him like working. That was like his last band that he worked with when he was in the record industry, and it's great, and it's hilarious. And if that's stuff you think about, it's a good fun read.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, the idea of being like, my band got a record deal. I'm going to go buy a mansion, and that not being the stupidest decision. It's just like crazy. Like, what a time.
I just always think about Fleetwood Mac hiring the USC like marketing for like the stupidest song.
Tusk.
And that just feels like the perfect encapsulation of too much money.
Right, yeah. Don't say that you love me. Wow. Something I really like about 80s or early 80s is like the proliferation of synthesizers, I guess. Like suddenly an imitation of every single instrument in the world you can utilize, but to today's ear it sounds very like primitive and silly. And yeah, that like I guess like classic rock bands or people who had been making music, it's weird that there's like a guitar, bass, drums era, and then it just sounds like really crazy what they decided to do with the new tools.
There's a documentary.
Temporary Secretary.
What is Temporary Secretary?
It's Paul McCartney on that crazy album with Wonderful Christmas Time where it's yellow in his face.
There's a documentary about the making of Dark Side of the Moon. And they talk about all the shade that they got for using synthesizers back in like whenever 1971 or 2. And you just hear them talking, like defending themselves pretty much, and it's kind of like sounds like Spinal Tap. They just are like basically
right,
like a lot of bands, and those rockumentaries are like just the basis for Spinal Tap. But like, because sometimes they do sound really smart, and other times you're just like, oh, stop talking, don't stop talking about this. Like,
yeah,
I want to listen to this record again and not think about you.
That's really funny.
seeing this.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah?
We got more viewer art.
Come on, show us. Ah! It's a pumper! Hello. Very cute. Oh, okay. Leaf much? Wow. Looks like, what's his name? Dennis Leary.
I feel like that week probably has some thoughts about cancel culture.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Ooh, they look so good. Those look really excellent. Yay. Ooh, beautiful pumpkin spice latte, plant scum latte. Yum, yum, yum. Now that's some latte art I would slurp up. Speaking of Planet Scum latte art, you could get your own Planet Scum latte art in the form of a t-shirt at planetscum.live/merch. You could also donate to us, please, at planetscum.live. Well, it's almost time for Dan's babies go to bed time. So I think this is probably a good time to, show off, where we're at now art-wise. And I also think we should all go around and say something we learned today. So something that I learned today is, I learned that Bob is 38 and Dan is 37.
Well, I just finished my drawing. I think we're all done with this whole spooky scene.
Oh, it's
I wrote
darling.
my name on the top.
Oh!
That's a little black cat at the bottom. It's sort of abstract, but I'm pretty proud of it.
I like it.
And what I learned today is that the best prank you can pull is involves a sewer pipe on a playground, tricking kids.
Well, I learned. Wait, it was just on the tip of my tongue, and then I forgot it. I learned about the name of this Paul McCartney album where that Christmas song comes from, which is called Paul McCartney and the Big Album. And the Big Expensive Album.
Oh, McCartney too.
But more importantly, I learned about that more people than I realized also ponder this era of decadence in the record industry, wherein the inspiration for the most well-funded artists was beginning to run out, whilst the budget was being driven through the roof, and then resulted in these artifacts that we now behold in the late hours and blast them directly into our skull in a ritualistic manner. And it makes me feel less alone that other people are thinking about these things.
Agreed. Well, what do you say, fellas? Should we wave at the camera until Forrest turns off the feed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you guys for being on the show. See you next week, everyone, in the comments. I love you. Goodbye.